This is a head-to-head video about two similar looking watches, at the same time different in so many ways. I have previously reviewed the SSK001, but never really directly compared it to the SKX007. Now, I know I might be late on this one, but if ever there's someone out there thinking about getting one of these watches, or choosing between them, you're in luck. We get to see them side by side. You may say, well, the best watch to compare the SKX007 to is to the non-GMT version, the SRPD55. It looks closer and doesn't have a GMT movement. Unfortunately, we don't have one to compare it to, and it seems like the SSK001 is more well known than the non-GMT variant. Okay, so holding these two side by side, the similarities in the case size and design are uncanny. Some people would say it looks like a modded SKX, which I would agree with, considering that there is an NH34 movement, which can be used on the SKX. And because of these mods, the Seiko SKX007 looks pure, and anything else that kind of resembles it just looks like a mod. That's why I can't disagree when people say the SSK001 looks like a mod watch. Okay, I'm ripping off the SSK design too much here. I think if I only look at it that way and end this video, it won't be much help. After all, this is the current SKX of this decade. Let's talk about the SSK001 and what advantages it has over the SKX out of the box. This watch comes in a much better bracelet with a push to open clasp, much easier to operate than the older one. Keep in mind that what I have here on my 007 is an aftermarket. It is a folded, as you can see there. Not the best feeling. Yeah, but looks close to similar on camera right there. Another obvious advantage, if you find it useful, is the GMT movement. The SSK001 is a great entry-level GMT watch with 100 meters of depth rating. As of this video, Seiko has released the SSK023, another entry-level GMT watch with the same 4R34 movement, this time in a field watch design. The SSK001 and 023 have decent specs for the price. I also think the date Cyclops is okay, but being a hardlex, I can foresee it getting scratched up from heavy usage, and not really a fan of the Cyclops, just to put it out there. The exhibition case back is a nice touch too, which is also hardlex, which showcases the 4R34 movement, which runs the same as the 4R35 and 4R36 if you're familiar with that, the Seiko Samurais and the Seiko Turtles, just with a GMT and date complication, no date. This watch can be set up to register 3 time zones, and since it also has a 24-hour bezel insert, that is possible. I'll be leaving a link of a video setting it up, as this guy explains it much better than I do. Speaking of the bezel insert, it has no bezel click, obviously it's bi-directional, and it's tight and it's not too loose that you might accidentally turn it. I also like the half gray finish there and half black finish. Plays with the light very well, I should say. I believe it is glass, and that would definitely make this watch look new for a longer period of time. As with the aluminum bezel of the SKX, if you're an owner of this watch, after a few years it already gets scratched up pretty bad, can be easily chipped and scratched, and that's about it. I think I'm kinda glad they didn't put lume on the whole bezel insert like most ceramic or glass inserts do. It would just look too tacky. The SKX007, on the other hand, is much simpler to look at. You kinda have to get used to looking at the SSK001 because of that extra hand and a lot going on in the dial. The SKX007 just looks like an everyday watch. I don't mean that in a negative way, it just looks more refined. The red accents on the SSK are nice, the orange text on the SKX on the other hand tends to fade over time. We'll have to see in the future if someone can show their old SSK001 and what it would look like. So there is a minor variance on the case size. Obviously on the glass side it's much taller, maybe because of the thickness of the glass and the Cyclops there. Okay, so for any of you wondering if the bracelet on both of these watches can be interchanged, let's find out. Okay, so for the SSK001 it's much easier to change since it has drilled lug holes right there compared to non-drilled lug holes for the SKX. Again, There are also mod parts which look exactly like this, cost a lot more. I used that previously on my SKX013 build. I'm just gonna use this earring from my girlfriend. Okay, so we got it out. We just have to also, and it's much easier. Life is so much easier with drill dog holes. So there is your SSK001, and now time to do this one. Inch this through. Yeah, that was faster. So I just usually do this. I don't have any tools or anything, I just do that. Okay, so this is the SKX007 going in the SSK001 bracelet. Now, a great rule of thumb is if you've removed these parts and you're wondering which side is supposed to be right, a good rule of thumb is just to see the Seiko logo and the clasp, and if it's facing upright, that's the bottom part. I can't tell you how many times I've done it the opposite side like that. I should just keep that in mind. So let's see if this works or it doesn't. I'm just gonna use my nails here. And so we got that side in, and oh, it does. Man, wow. That looks really nice. That looks excellent, actually. Look at that. Let me just put the other one, the other side. It's a perfect fit. I don't know why. There we go. So there you have it, 7S26 SKX 007 on an SSK001 Jubilee bracelet. I'm just going to insert. I'll show you on my wrist. Let's use my nails here. Right, let me pull the camera up. Alright, so this is the SKX007 on the SSK001 strap. And yeah, it works. It works really, really well. Security clasp. Feels nice, solid. And it's Seiko branded, so you don't have to worry about it being anything else. Yeah, it feels nice. I'm not gonna try and transfer my cheap folded Jubilee to this one because obviously the point here is I wanted to see if this bracelet of the SSK could fit here, and it does. It fits perfectly. I don't know if anyone ever tried this, but yeah, if you can find an aftermarket or a pull-out item or OEM bracelet, you can use it. Oh, okay, so I forgot to mention that the bracelet of the SSK001, I was putting it back. I wanted to check the spring bar, and it is unfortunately not a fat spring bar. This is from the SKX007. It cannot fit. Yeah, so even though it looks nice, even though it fits perfectly, it is not the fat spring bar. That might be a disadvantage, as these thicker ones are much more durable. So I just gotta finish this and we'll wrap up the video. So the SKX007 is a diver, and the SSK001 is unfortunately not. It doesn't have a screw down crown, which is not really a deal breaker since 100 meters of water resistance is plenty to the average person. The reason why the SSK001 exists is because of the 007, and Seiko just found a way to make it better by putting a GMT and upgrading the bezel and bracelet and movement. But honestly, I think it made the SKX007 look even more desirable. And you see it through people buying these watches up to today. What was once a more or less $200 watch is now at north of $500 range and rising. The SSK001 caters to the modern age beginner watch collector, as many people found it very useful and it is affordable. The SKX007 is turning into a museum piece. For those of you who are using a GMT function more often than I ever will, the SSK is the better watch. Either way, you're getting an all-around tool watch in the SSK001 at an entry-level price and available to all, the same way the 007 used to be. Thanks for watching, and I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know if you have any questions, just leave a comment down below. Till next time, I'll see you soon. Stay safe.